This is Nick Urich, and you're listening to Let the Hate Flow Through You with Jeremy Shear and El Hordano Diablo.
Let the hate flow!
Available on the Lousy Weather Media Network.
Welcome to Let the Hate Flow Through You, your weekly dose of audible hatred. I'm Jeremy Shear.
El Hordano Diablo.
And this week on the program, we are joined by the frontman from the Tufted Puffins, Mike Baker.
Hello.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks, man. Sounds like fun.
Yeah. So, Mike, why do you hate magical thinking?
Pretty much it's the basis for everything that's wrong. Everywhere in the world and everywhere in society. So basically magical thinking encompasses to me anything that isn't rational. And you know, to put my worldview out there, I think this virus is showing us that there actually is an objective reality that will kick our asses if we don't interpret it correctly.
I could not agree more.
Yeah. And so we all have, I don't want to say delusional, but imaginative way to deal with this objective reality. We create the way we see it. It's never like directly, but there are tools that you can use to create the way you perceive this reality. One is reason and logic and, you know, the scientific method. And
Dictated, not read.
Is making shit up so that you feel good about it, you know, which encompasses religion and, you know, thinking crystals are going to do anything or putting, I don't know, ginger up your butt, you know? It's like the only way we're ever going to survive this is through logical, rational, intelligent thinking. And making shit up is going to kill us.
Well, there's a rational reason to put ginger up your butt. I mean, first
there's a rational reason to put anything up your butt.
Well, like the rational reason is sometimes, you know, you're like Jordan and you need to put things up your butt to achieve an erection. So
this understandable, whether scientifically provable or not, I don't know.
So you take a slice of ginger and you make sure like it's a little bit moist. So
it's called a knob of ginger, just so you know, a knob of ginger.
Yeah. And just so you know, I'm not against putting ginger up your butt per se. It's just thinking that it's going to do things that it's not going to do is what I'm against.
So like basically what Gwyneth Paltrow, like all her crazy psycho bullshit.
Yeah, like, her goop stuff.
Is that's what it's called?
Yeah, Goop is her site where she sells all of this shit, like candles that smell like her vagina, which I can't imagine who wants to buy that. I looking at Jeremy right now, and his mind is just going, yeah, I could see that.
Oddly enough, you know what I stumbled across today was lube that smells like vagina. I mean, I didn't witness it in my hands or anything.
Like you can't wait till you stick it in there for your dick to smell like vagina. Like it's got to smell like vagina first.
This is for people that are not comfortable with their sexuality enough to admit that they like dudes. So they cover the dick they're about to suck in vagina scented lubricant because it's not gay if it smells like pussy.
Not gay if it's just a big clit.
Yeah. I know what I would do with vagina scented candles. I would do a small room, like 30 people max, and then just light the candles all around the room and not bring it up until the end.
It smells like pussy in here.
Yeah. Hiding it and just waiting for the action. That would be fun.
Yeah,
but
I just-
there is such a wide range of vagina
yeah.
fragrance that
Well,
it's
that's
like,
a
which end of
magical
the
thing.
spectrum is this on? Is it like really pleasant or is it really unpleasant? I don't know.
If I'm gonna buy a candle, I want musty, straight from the gym vagina. I want it to linger in the air.
You
Yeah.
you want it to be ripe.
Yeah,
Okay.
You want the room to be lousy with vagina.
yeah. That's why I'm buying the candle. I don't want something like that's like fresh out of the shower and is just taking a vinegar bath. Like that's not the vagina that I want my house to smell like. I want it like doesn't know how to wipe.
We are off the rails quick today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, good to meet you.
Yeah. This is a good introduction for sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. All of that seems fine to me. You know what you're going after. It's like if you thought the color of the vagina scented candle was going to like make you have energies.
Mm.
That's where we get off the rails on this shit. And
Yeah.
So you're not talking like lavender pussy. You're just saying like
No, it's if you thought burning your pussy candle was going to bring you financial wealth. All right, which is probably on Goop.
I just really want to go to the bodega now and see like a big tall candle with a pussy on it. Just like, yeah, burn this, you win the lottery.
like one of the prayer candles.
Yes.
My wife makes these.
Yeah, that's another thing entirely. What do they use to make that?
I don't know if I want to know.
I know.
I mean, some things are better left unsaid.
And who is the quality control guy who like has to go?
He knows a lot about pussy.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a passable vagina smell.
And of
Send
course,
out
it's
those
going to be a
facts.
man dictating. It's a dude dictating. What the pussy should smell like. What the pussy candle should smell like.
It's
Yeah,
an 85-year-old.
undoubtedly that's a man job. You know, in this society, that job went to a man.
Which
Yeah,
brings us back to magical thinking. Why would a
Yeah.
man know that?
I don't know.
If you're an 85-year-old OBGYN that's been practicing for 50 years, you would think that like vagina smells haven't changed that much in 50 years. So you could
You'd be surprised. You didn't live through vaudeville.
I didn't live through the time where they had to change the material that underwear is made out of because the smell was getting out. You're right.
Hey, neither of you lived in Hiroshima for 20 years after that shit happened. You don't know what that was like.
I think I
smelled
want
like
to.
battery acid.
Nuclear pussy smells like battery acid.
Dictated, not read.
Oh, shit.
But anyway, back on the magical thinking track. Religion, of course, is the big mother of all magical thinking. And
Right.
my opinion of all religions is that they're basically slave manuals. If you're going to make someone a slave, the first thing you do is you need to break them.
Yeah.
Get rid of their self-esteem, make them feel like they are unclean, dirty, unworthy of equality. And then you set up a figure who the only thing that can redeem them is to do what this figure wants, to get his good graces, to get, so basically it's a slave manual. How do you make the populace into slaves?
Yeah.
So, Mike, a little, just like so you know where I'm coming from when we talk about this shit. I was raised. Anybody who listens to the show knows this, but like, I was raised a Jehovah's Witness. Left. Yeah. I left when I was. I checked out when I was like 15, but like I stopped going when I moved out of my parents' house at 20. And like you were saying, like I do agree, like especially that one, it's very, very cultish. And I found out recently through therapy that a lot of my fear and anxiety is very much based in the way that I was raised. So I could not agree with that more than what you
Yeah, I mean, you're basically born without it. You know, it's got to be like beat into you and stuffed into you.
Yep.
And, you know, it's not like people who believe in science need to go to a place once a week to be reinvigorated about the idea that gravity exists. You know, it's like
what
the
about
indoctrination, huh?
I said, what about TED Talks?
Okay, well, you know, that's a little evangelical too, but
Yeah, definitely is.
But
It
you know what I
definitely
mean? It's like this is hideous brainwashing. And no, you know, I can't ever fault anyone for not being able to get around it, because it's so prevalent and it's so necessary for the society that we have now, that we create slaves who will go out in a freaking pandemic and cook hamburgers because and not starve, so that they don't starve, and then never bitch about it. You know, it's like slavery is absolutely necessary to this society. So, what you know,
Well, it's capitalism. That's
Right.
exactly what it is.
but the magical thinking comes into play with that. The idea that when you're born into this lower caste and you do these menial jobs, and if you just work hard enough, it's going to get you ahead. There's going to be a meritocracy. Meritocracy is horrible. You know, magical thinking. It's not the way the world works.
No, unfortunately not. This is mostly based on, you know, where you're born and who pulls you along for the ride.
Yeah, what opportunities are set in front of you that you have that you can take advantage of, which many places and for many people there are very, very few.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's definitely magical thinking there, and that's what keeps people invested in capitalism, is this idea that one day I could be a millionaire, which is just the ultimate like stupid mantra that everybody has.
Or, even worse than that, I am an unrealized millionaire. You know what I mean? I am actually of millionaire quality, but I just haven't gotten the $1 million yet. You know, and all of these other lesser people who aren't the quality of millionaires like me, you know, I'll step on their heads to get my $1 million.
Yeah. Well, at least they figured out that you got to step on heads, because that's how you get around in capitalism.
I rather step on somebody's neck to get ahead than step in mud and get stuck. So here's the reality of magical thinking, that people will listen to 3 bald white guys talk about this shit.
Magic,
man, that is magical, isn't it? that's the Disney kind of magical that I
yeah.
Yeah, we look like the fucking gargoyles from Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike, you can be Jason Alexander. I was gonna say that we're like the magical woodland creatures that have come to advise the heroine on how to best get.
That is a high compliment.
So this just gets put out in audio, though, right?
Danny DeVito from Hercules.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Okay, good. That's a good thing. That's a very good thing.
Because Mike's jerking off right now.
I am
both watching him.
I know. I would have put clothes on, except that I knew that it was going to be audio only.
Well,
I put a shirt on, and my fiance. Go ahead.
You go ahead, Jordan.
Oh no, I was just saying. Yeah. Before we got on the phone, I was putting on a shirt, and Chelsea was like, "I'm gonna punch you in the tit." I was like, "You just like my supple breasts." I believe you've called them that before, Sheer, which is also magical thinking.
Yeah, it is magical that if I keep calling them supple, they will somehow get less disgusting.
Mhm.
That's how a lot of people get by. You don't have a rational explanation for how things are going, so you just put in this magical thought and cling to it, and that's how you're going to coast by.
It's like, what happens to a person that they can't look at something like praying, all right? And you just break it down to them and you say, look, you're talking into your hand. Is there a mechanism where this is getting transmitted to something somewhere else, and that they, in the entire universe, which we know how big it is now, that guy is worried about whatever the fuck you're talking into your hands to, and has the ability to do something about it? Like, you can't present that to them and they get it.
Well,
you know, and they go, wow,
right.
That's so fucking absurd. No one would believe that.
Yeah,
But they
is
do.
that you cannot, and I know this through a fucking 12 years of experience. You cannot argue logic with faith.
No.
It does not work.
And faith is
just
the most
a belief. It
Yeah.
is.
The whole concept of faith is maybe the worst thing we've ever created. That you should have this like back door that runs around your logic so that you can believe stuff that everything tells you isn't true because you want to believe it. It's like a computer virus or a you know.
My thing with that though is like, if people want to be spiritual or religious, my only rule is as long as you're not hurting anybody and as long as you're not shoving it down your throat, if that gets you through your day, fine. But I just don't talk to me about it.
Yeah. I'm kind of in that same. I mean, honestly, I understand that my view of the world, I made it up. You know, it's a creation of my intellect, and it's the way I have chosen to see things. And if it doesn't affect, you know, the way we as a society deal with objective reality, is fine. Like, you know, create the happiest one you can, I think, and go enjoy your life. But when your happy creation causes something like not reacting to a global pandemic, you know, you gotta put some rails on that.
Yeah, that's when it's time to pump the brakes. When this giant creation has now come completely off the rails, and it's getting people killed. Right.
Okay. Okay. So I have one thing to say about it, is like, as far as the global pandemic for both of you, is that you guys should really, really consider letting the people in Florida do what they're doing. Because this is going to be probably our only chance in our lifetime to have Florida wiped off the fucking planet. So, you know, sometimes you got to root for the bad guys.
I agree. I'm done being the catcher in the rye. You know, go the fuck off the cliff, you dumbasses, and we'll be better without you. But trouble is, Like we just had this big thing happening in Cleveland that a local bar that has like progressive music and everything. The owner is a MAGA head, and he was like trying to conscript people to go down to Columbus to protest. Now, if that only killed him and the people who went down there to protest, I would be totally fine with that. But all of those people are going to come back up here, and they hang out in the places I hang out in, and they have the same friends that I have. And, you know, they're going to kill off some of my friends, and they're going to kill off, you know, they're going to set being able to open up the places again back, because they're going to start more hot spots. And
Is it Tony George?
It's the 5 o'clock.
That guy's a fucking Trump supporter.
Yeah. He just
Fuck
came out with it all.
That
man.
shit. Oh, fuck that guy then. Fuck him.
Yeah,
Just-
exactly. He
Look,
was trying to get people to drive to Columbus this weekend to like hang around. I mean, you know what you're doing connects with the objective reality. And if your fucking psychotic MAGA interpretation of it is going to get my friends killed, then fuck you.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Fuck him and his venue. I'll never go in that fucking bar again.
No, me neither.
I'm not
I don't
going.
think it's going to be there, man. He had this whole tirade going on Facebook, and he had so many people going, "You're an idiot, and I'll never come in your place again." He completely just killed his business.
Hey, there you go. There's more imaginary thinking, though. Thinking your opinion fucking matters when you put it on Facebook. Whether you're posting it or commenting it. It doesn't fucking matter. Eat a dick, loser.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Although
and
I'm sticking to my magical thinking that my opinion on Facebook works. It's really all I've got to motivate me through this.
fair enough.
Oh, I'm not on Facebook, but like absolutely on Twitter. I will say this. I think quarantine has made me better at Twitter. So again,
Yeah.
I might be rooting for the bad guys here. And that's scientific thinking because COVID's real and it can kill people.
I know. My pompousness in my writing has gone up like 2,000% since this. You know, it's it's excellent.
I can't say that.
Oh, I'm the smartest person in my house, no doubt.
Are you? Well, yeah. Chelsea's dumb because she's dating you. So that. You have a point. No, but I think the worst aspect of magical thinking that I can think of, besides religion, is the cult of positivity and the motivational speaking stuff. That just, there's no machination there that says that just by changing your thought processes one little bit, it's going to improve your life. It's not. It's just making you more and more delusional to what's actually going on.
Yeah. Aggressive
That is-
positivity is the worst.
I can't stand it. And I see so many people falling victim to it because it's like, even though it's not
Skills, to be honest.
rational. Go ahead.
Well, I think we're on a lag, right?
Yeah. You're lagging.
Fuck you, you're lagging.
Fuck you, you're lagging.
I'm right on.
Fuck me.
I'm in real time.
No, however, I do have, because you're on like a fucking computer, man. Like we're doing this shit on our phones. You have like power behind you. You got like
Yeah, I
full
do, man.
vibrators.
I'm a professional.
You got like
Fuck are you guys?
you have a fuck machine.
I'm not a professional only because I spent all my money doing stupid things like buying my medicine and trying to go to sleep at night.
Your aggressive positivity thing, though. I am totally down with that, man. That's like that.
Professionally pay people to
We're losing you, buddy.
Sorry, guys. I'm gonna go in a different room. Yeah, I'm gonna go in a different room.
All right.
All right.
So the professional positivity.
Well, I was calling it the aggressive positivity.
Yeah.
Like that motherfucker, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and that. I mean, that fucking thing that Oprah was about for a while, The Secret.
Yeah.
Do you know how many stupid people bought into that? She made those motherfuckers millionaires. You know, she is a wellspring of stupid thinking, man. Look at all of the people she put into our spotlight. Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz, Deepak Chopra. You know, man, she should be fucking prosecuted for that kind of idiot.
See, all right, but and I guess I understand what you're saying as far as like how it does affect the masses, but then you have somebody like me who I decide when I am going to be what's the word I'm looking for? Influenced by anything. So like Oprah, you said Dr. Phil. I always fucking hated that guy. You said Dr. Oz, which is the name I heard. Then you like another one. So like I don't even know who these fucking people are, and I'm like thankful for that.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to be thankful about that, but unfortunately they're given a large audience on television every week, and then asshole newscasters that are trying to fill time keep bringing them on as experts when they're not.
Mm-hmm.
And then Deepak Chopra has started this, I don't know exactly what he's doing, like motivational poetry as life lessons. I don't know.
Yeah, he's the one who thinks he understands like quantum physics and it proves religious concepts. He's a fucking idiot. He is a fucking idiot. Yeah. Oh,
why? Read a book that you're interested in. Like, I know we're talking about magical thinking, but Christ, read fucking Tolkien or something. Like, that's better magical thinking than whatever the fuck that guy's talking about.
You know, imagination and magical thinking aren't the same thing. You know, it's like I think you should absolutely enjoy your imagination, and you should go as far out on it as you could possibly go and spend lots of time there because it's very pleasing. But when it comes time to hit the fucking... I was going to
take it a task over...
Oh, go ahead.
I'm glad you said that because I was going to take it a task at the end of this over professional wrestling. But now that you said imagination's okay, like we're good.
I mean, I would be okay with professional wrestling, except I saw what it did to Chris Clem. And and that's just a sad thing because he's a smart guy. And, you know, he just went down a professional wrestling rabbit hole that took him into bad places, you know?
Well, I think if you're referring to the, you know, being on the fence about Vince McMahon all the time, it happens to the best of us, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, that and Kid Rock. You know, that is a real low point in human culture. and he's in it.
I can't talk him out of it. I don't know.
I know.
No.
It's
all right. So I'm going to defend. I'm going to defend Clem here, and me and him, because we've argued about certain things like people that we either like or don't like, or on the same side of, or whatever. But Clem's defense is he was like, just because I like an entertainer, that just means I have to come to terms with the fact that they have trash politics. And I do agree with separating the art from the artist in a lot of cases. Not all cases, but a lot of them.
Okay, well, we're still talking about Kid Rock now, right? Because you're using terms like art and artist, which I don't think apply.
That's all subjective. That's all subjective.
Oh, no, it's pretty objective, buddy.
Look, I come from the land of those kind of mullets, and the dude is a fucking backwoods trash asshole. And I know millions of them. Though. I know millions of them. I know exactly who he's. Yeah,
he's actually that's who he caters to. And Chris Clem. But he actually comes from Romeo, Michigan. His dad was a doctor. Like Kid Rock, like he was raised like a white privileged kid who wanted to be trash. So
oh my God,
he made a lot of money being trash.
if you're going to be a poser, why the fuck would you pick that?
That's a good
You know?
question. There are many different routes you can go to be a poser, and he decided that, you know, the Bush heavy lifestyle was what he was going to pose. And
Push heavy. President and beer.
mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's hard to separate the art from the artist for me, especially considering, you know, my chosen artistic profession. But you know, think about it this way: you're going to separate the art from the artist, but you're booking Gigi Allen, and yeah, you know what you know that this is just performance art, but this is what you're bringing to your venue with this type of performance art.
Okay, now I get to like be holier than everybody right now because Gigi Allen is the only show that Hucklebuck refused to open for. All right,
I don't blame you.
Pussy.
Yeah. It's the only gig I ever turned down in my life over like principle.
No regrets though.
No, fuck, I don't want shit on my amplifier. Come on.
Do you think the Murder Junkies or the Jabbers were the type of band that like had to have backlined equipment, like they didn't travel with their own gear?
Who in the fuck would loan their equipment to the fucking Murder Junkies? I'm serious. That is never going to happen.
I think I've heard people say
Hey, that's magical thinking.
Man, you are dumber than shit if you did that. It's like them and the Mentors.
Yeah.
Nobody is going to loan fucking equipment to the Mentors.
They were just here a couple of years ago too,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure someone loaned them equipment.
Oh my God. I don't even get that. There's no way. There's no way to get near any of my shit.
No, but Jordan's right. That is magical thinking. This is the one time that they're not going to do something stupid,
Yes.
which is nonsense. I think it's easy to fall into the trap of magical thinking though when everything is going wrong and you get this little glimpse of hope and cling to it like a madman.
Yeah.
And you're just off to the races.
And that's a serious argument though. Does thinking something that probably isn't true but gives you a sense of comfort and gives you, you know, a kind of a way to psychologically get through something, is that necessarily a bad thing? And I don't really know. I mean, I don't really know, except, you know,
No.
yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's also keeping you from directly looking at the reality.
Like,
you know,
the reason. So I know we're still on a lag. I wish my fucking internet was working. So I will say this: like, if that gets somebody through their day, that is like that's totally fine. Like I said before, I don't have a problem with that as long as you're not shoving it down somebody's throat. But like my whole argument for that is we don't know what happens after we die. So it's very, very, your life on this planet is very, very minuscule. It actually really doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things.
exactly.
So like if somebody wants to pray to something that in my opinion doesn't exist, go right the fuck ahead. It's not gonna tell me about it.
You know, surprisingly, I'm absolutely with you on that. You know, it's like if it's within your, I don't know, your realm and you're not like it's not extending out and hurting other people, then I'm fine with it, because honestly, we all have made up what we think reality is. We all have. It's not, we don't have a direct thing into what is actually happening. We have what our brains are interpreting and what we're creating in our mind as to how we view reality. I do think there are things that are more direct toward what reality is, what objective reality is, and there are things that create something that keeps you from getting there. And they're not necessarily bad, either one. I mean, they're not necessarily good or bad. However, at times when reality is going to kill us, the one that like goes more directly to it and sees it as best we can is much preferable, and it's the one we have to have.
Yeah, but there's also an argument to be made that normalizing magical thinking leads to things like the fact that the vast majority of substance abuse treatment is praying, which is fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, sending somebody to a goddamn meeting where so they can pray with a bunch of dudes that are trying to fuck every girl that comes in is not like scientifically proven to stop people from getting fucked up.
Yeah.
It's
honestly, prayer I'm not going to support. I think that's a destructive thing. I think that's just putting your energies into something that absolutely will have no effect and keeping you from like actually doing something. So, you know, I do not support prayer. I think prayer is just idiotic. And you just,
I mean, but
right,
I mean, the argument to be made is the only argument like that, because like, hey, like I'm on both sides of the boat as far as like, hey, you are allowed to do, this is America.
Mm-hmm.
You can do whatever the fuck hurting anybody. Basically, at night before bed helps you. How the fuck would that affect me? As long as they're not doing it in schools, and as long as they're not doing it in politics, I don't give a shit, because I just think you're stupid at that point.
Here's how it affects them. All right. There may be like real issues in their life that they could do something productive to change. There might be things that they should confront and that they should take charge of and you know, make an effort to change in their lives. But what prayer does is prayer puts that responsibility on this thing that doesn't exist to fix it for them rather than them fixing it themselves. Prayer is relieving you of responsibility for the consequences of what you're doing and what's going to happen. And that to me is destructive to a person.
It's very destructive to a person. And, you know, getting back to what I was saying about SUD treatment, the key thing that they tell you when you go in is to put all of this baggage onto God so that it can be released. And that's just not how it works.
No.
You can't like quit dope because God no longer wants you to be on dope.
Okay. And that's all fine and good. But like, and I'm not being a dick here. I'm just saying, like, survival of the fittest, man. Like, I battled with a drug problem. I'm sure you've battled with a drug problem. I still fucking drink. But, like, it survival of the fittest. So
right now,
whether they pray to God or put their fucking, their weight of their problems on an imaginal figure, go right the fuck ahead. Because chances are they're gonna relapse and fucking die in a car wreck anyway. So like they didn't need to be here in the first place. I happen to get lucky, so whatever.
Yeah, if you don't believe that they're going to be able to make changes, then that doesn't matter. But for someone who, if you're looking at them and like I want them to actually make the decisions and efforts and things that they must do to change their situation and make whatever it is they're praying about better, then this is kind of bad. It's kind of like taking the focus away from what they actually have to do.
Yeah.
But isn't that their problem?
Well,
I
it
mean-
is, but I mean, we're talking about whether prayer is a good or bad thing, and I'm arguing.
No. And I'm not attacking you. I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, I guess, like, for me, I guess I will come off like an asshole saying this. I don't care enough about, like, everybody to be like, well, you know, if you were a fucking junkie and God helped you get off of it, they're still liable, or, you know, maybe to go fucking break into somebody's house and steal money or steal something. So it's like, at the end of the day, if I don't know that person, if that's how they think, fuck them. If I come across somebody in my life who I think I could, like, maybe help, I don't want to say guide, like, because I'm no fucking perfect example, but, like, if I can help walk somebody through something, because in my opinion, people don't want help, or people don't get help until they want help. And if praying to God is help to them, and they think it works, then whatever. Because, like George Carlin said, prayers are answered at about the same 50% rate as, like, when he prayed to Joe Pesci. Half the time he gets what he wants, half the time he doesn't. That's just the way it works.
Yeah. It's just the problem that I have with it being acceptable is that there are people making money off of this whole idea that the answer to your drug problem is prayer.
Yeah.
And a lot of money. So it's
Mhm.
not just affecting one person. It's you get a DUI, you have to go to AA.
Mhm.
And which is ridiculous, because it's not like, I thought we were separating church and state, but they're basically sending your ass to church.
Yeah, there will never be a separation of church and state, because it is the tool of the state to keep you suppressed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't understand, if the goal of treatment is to stop people from using, and you're putting them into this thing that it doesn't stop people from using. Like, people go to meetings specifically to sell their Suboxone and fucking, you know, get people GAC and other shit. Like, it doesn't work. So why is this still a thing? And the more and more research that's coming out now is, like, pushing people away from doing 12-step programs into other shit that actually works. But it's still, like, a huge part of our culture, and it's the acceptable thing to do is to go to rehab and pray on it instead of actually, like, doing the hard work that it takes to get clean.
You have people in the White House right now whose idea of how to deal with a worldwide pandemic is to pray. You know, and I'm speaking about Mike Pence.
Yeah,
That is
right.
absolutely destructive to everybody. That should not be happening. You know, that, and it's like elevating this concept of prayer to legitimacy is a fucking problem for me, man. It's not a legitimate way to deal with anything.
Yeah, that's not.
Prayer's like toilet paper. It's fucking useless.
Mhm.
You know, you use it once and you throw it away.
Oh,
Exactly.
I thought you meant you didn't wipe your ass, Jordan. I was going to say that explains a few things.
And honestly, like, the idea of, like, thinking positively or, you know, internally motivating yourself or something like that doesn't bother me at all. It's just that the mechanism, I mean, the structure of prayer and the idea of prayer is preposterous. And you're giving people this idea that works, that, like, there is actually somebody out there who has the power to do something, listening to your fucking bullshit while the rest of the world burns and the universe churns. And I mean, that is just wrong. It's wrong. Like, tell them, you know, in yourself, you have the power to will yourself to do these things that you have to do. that doesn't bother me at all. That's not magical thinking. That is motivational thinking.
Right.
Prayer is magical, and prayer is not pointing to anything that will ever give them an actual result.
It's just wasting time.
Mm-hmm.
And when you got your vice president wasting time, it's not a good time.
Hey, is it better to have a vice president wasting time during a pandemic or have a vice president shooting his friends on a hunting trip? Which one's better? I like them both.
I didn't like his friends, so shooting is kind of.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
That was a great answer. That's fuck Dick Cheney too.
Yeah. The other magical thinking that comes up, and we kind of touched on the woo-woo with the Gwyneth Paltrow shit, but it's this idea that your own willpower can make changes in your life, but not based on anything rational, but it's the same The Secret bullshit, except it's been backed up by thousands of years of magical texts.
Yeah.
It's The Secret's just. The Secret is the Holy Spirit, is all I was going to say. It's the same fucking thing. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, and it's like all of those guys who sit around and chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo and think that that's going to bring them wealth.
Yeah. Or the dudes
you dumbasses, get off your ass and get a job. You want wealth.
I'm not buying your damn book.
I know. Yeah.
I used to be like, oh, these are spiritual people and I should help them in their quest. And I have gotten fed up, especially after seeing all the people that were Hare Krishnas, but still like to punch people in the face. So.
Yeah. I was into Buddhism for a while and still have respect for some of it. You know what I mean? It's like, I think that was the most rational of all religions because it's really
not a religion.
Yeah, you're probably right. It isn't. It's a philosophy. And the way it looked at how your mind works was, mind blowing for me. That was opening. And I still really appreciate a lot of stuff out of that. But I mean, man, that has Americans got a hold of it, and then it splintered off into complete weirdness.
I have a question actually. So what is like your take on something like transcendental meditation?
That it's probably good, but for very practical physiological reasons. You know what I mean? That like disconnecting your mind and letting it rest and probably has a good result. And
well, the reason I asked, or the reason I said it or even brought it up was there are a number of people like quasi celebrities and such that I respect very much that swear by transcendental meditation, and I've never committed myself to do it yet. Maybe I will, but they certainly, a couple of them I've actually been around in person, and they just exude this calmness, this this at peace with life. And that's really what we should all be trying to achieve. And like very much like Buddhism, you should be trying to achieve like the peace of oneself, the peace of one's mind. And so I was just curious.
No, I'm very positive towards those ideas. I have a friend, his name's Brad Warner, who is actually a Zen Buddhist monk. And he wrote a book called Punk Rock Zen. He was the
yeah. Yes.
You know him? Yeah,
I know the book.
He does something called Zazen, which is basically sitting in front of a wall and letting your mind empty. And I mean, I totally respect him. You know, I don't know if everything that he's into is for me, but I mean, he's very he's an extremely rational human being. He's a really great guy. He was in, what was the band? Oh, shit. I'm going to get so much trouble because I'm having a brain fart and I can't think of it.
Google it. I can't Google it, otherwise I would.
Zero Defects. One of the
Yeah.
first one of the first hardcore bands in the area. All right. So he's not your normal, like, robe wearing monk. He's just a guy. But no, I honestly, I think there's a whole lot of stuff we don't know, particularly about consciousness and where it comes from and how it works.
I could not agree more.
And science may not be completely the way that we understand that, because science is basically a construct of the mind too.
It is.
But, so I'm not opposed particularly to Buddhism. I think if I had to pick something, if they said, okay, you gun to your head, you better pick something.
Sorry about that.
Jordan, I think not using toilet paper has gone to you a little bit.
Go fuck
Wow,
yourself.
that sounded like a race car.
It was actually a really, really shitty dirt bike that this kid rides around our neighborhood.
Oh,
And I hope fucking one day he wipes out right in front of my house.
yeah.
No, Buddhism makes a lot of sense, but when when there started being like stuff to pray to, I was like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah.
Well, the
Rajneesh
thing is,
and
like,
all of that stuff is crazy.
well, like that's not true. In my opinion, that's not true Buddhism.
No.
Like if you go back and you study Siddhartha and all that shit, it's not. People turned it into a religion, like they always do. They made Buddha basically a deity. Some people did, and it's not. He was just a guy. That's all.
But-
That's it.
But if you really believe the true Buddhist concept, the guys who con you and turn you down the wrong path are also teachers. So
Right.
it kind of all fits in. Like, that's what's supposed to happen, but
and that's the thing is, like, I just feel like if people were if I wish everybody was like this. I wish religion had never been created, but like you said, we create our own reality, and I've created my own reality, what I believe, what I don't believe. There are things in this world that are completely unexplainable, and there's proof of them happening. And like you said, science is just, it is also a construct, so we can't be 100% sure, but I tend to just block. I get, you know what? I live in my own fucking bubble. That's what I do.
we
I
all
just
do.
called myself out.
We all do. That's the whole thing. We all created our own bubble. And for those things that are unexplainable, I like to, I always put on yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Because
yeah.
we don't
I
know
mean,
why they happen. Doesn't mean they don't happen, but it also doesn't mean you should immediately jump to some supernatural.
No, agreed,
explanation
100%.
of it,
Like the I guess, like I said earlier, like it's for me, it's coming to peace with shit, and like for me, like the ideal that I settled on myself is that there are both positive and negative energies in this world, and the things you do, that the person you, because we can't explain our fucking entire brains, but the things you do and the paths you go down surround you with those positive and or negative energies. Do I know that to be the truth? No, but it's something I could settle on.
Okay, now all this being said, I still watch the fuck out of ghost hunter shows.
They're
Watch it, you know, if you
They are the best. They
No,
are
if
the
you
best.
if you want to really, like, guys who are actually really funny that do it, I don't know if you're familiar with them. The BuzzFeed Unsolved Network.
No.
There's a Ryan Bergara. I've become their YouTube creators, their YouTube content creators, and they're great. And they do BuzzFeed Unsolved. I think once a year. I think they do 6 episodes of true crime, and those are my favorite ones. And then they do 6 episodes of they go to a place and stay there if they're allowed. And if you're into that shit and you like it being done well and funny instead of like instead of like jocks, like fucking, oh, I'm going to call this ghost out, bro. Like these dudes are actually funny, So if you're into that, BuzzFeed Unsolved, I couldn't recommend it highly enough.
The one I was watching when we were in a hotel room because we were playing, I can't remember the name of it, but they just did something in Cleveland at the Franklin
Castle.
Yeah,
yep,
those
I watched
guys.
it.
Yeah, but I love them because every time something happens, they scream and run away. And it's like if you were actually going to like study something, you would go, ooh. But the one guy's always like, ah! And he runs away.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I've only watched one episode of that show, and it was that one because about 10, 12 years ago, I dove deep into the Franklin Castle, and like I've read like everything I could about it, and there was shit that is like so pertinent to the Franklin Castle story that they left out. And I was like, what about the Nazi fucking spies owning it in the 30s and having like 12 dudes gunned down in the carriage house? Or like, if you're familiar with it, the blood stain on the fucking marble that construction worker, and like 100 construction workers like have all said, we ripped it out with this blood stain. We put marble down. When we came back the next day, the stain was fucking there again. I mean, if 100 people are saying they saw something, it's hard for me to be like, you're full of shit.
All right, I got to check that out. But the people who own it now own a record company. And, like, if you're cool enough in Cleveland, you get invited to parties there, but I'm not yet. So I'm trying really hard.
We'll get there one day, Mike.
I hope so, man. I got a band. I'm like, come on.
Dude, what if we did – if we win the Best Podcast in Cleveland award this year – we should totally hit them up, be like, we're an award-winning podcast, and we'd like to do a show at the Franklin Castle. I'll be there for 1 hour and a half max, and then I'm getting the fuck out.
I would be your best curmudgeon skeptic you could ever pick for this. It would be wonderful. And I will absolutely do it. I would absolutely do it.
The plans are in motion.
Yeah.
So Mike,
this is why I was going to say, Sharon, I'll leave it at that. The only reason you keep me around is because I have good marketing ideas.
Yeah, that don't get done. So Mike, where can we find you and your work on the internet?
Headcheese.com, thetuftedpuffins.com, and I'm on Facebook. I post a lot of stuff there. So
yeah. And if you go to clevelandyucks.com, it'll also take you to the Tufted Puffins site. So
excellent. Yeah. Head Cheese is HED. Did I put a dash or an underscore? CHEEZ. That's where I'm doing a lot of like writing and weird music. So
yeah, it's writing. It's a lot of fun. So Jordan, I don't think we're going to find anybody that hates magical thinking as much as Mike Baker.
Nope.
No, there is another.
I won't apologize again. I'm a repeat offender. You can see right through my skin. I don't care about making mistakes. I keep setting up and falling out my face. Feed me numbing ages. Drag me to the ring. Another discharge vapor. Daniels in drunkenness. I keep my bruise and my brain and under the punches. And I was meant to take.
This has been a Lousy Weather Media Network production. Find new episodes and archives at lousyweathermedia.com.